Hello everyone and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger, episode 29. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Not sure how long I'm going to record today, but I did want to put up an episode this morning before I start getting everything ready for Turkey Day around here. The first thing that I noticed is that my system that I built out here on camera last episode does not work. Why, I don't know, but instead of taking the bees that I have and putting them in the apiary like it's supposed to, it is shipping all of my bees to the default routes. Now, this last time I took all the bees out and I stuck them in here. Hello. Alright, so I took all of my bees out and put them in here. For some reason, these pipes aren't working. I don't know why. So, we're going to have to rework this system. Figure we'll do that this episode. I have done a little bit of thinking about it, and, well, I could spend time derping around with the bee insertion pipes and all that, but I think I'm just going to go back to the old standby apiarist pipe, which is simply a diamond pipe with 2 pieces of propolis. Well, so happens I have plenty of propolis, so we'll do that. Let's grab 2 of my diamonds, grab a little glass. We'll make us a few more diamond pipes, 3 of which we're going to transform into apiarist pipes. We're also going to need just some plain old regular pipes. We'll keep using the cobblestone, and we'll want a logistics pipe or 2. We got our wrench. So we're going to come over here and we're going to bust this system up. Just going to break the whole damn thing apart. Like I said, I have no idea why it isn't working, but it isn't working, so screw it. Alright. We are going to need a couple of things in order to make this work. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to need to make a new type of gate. It's going to use our iron ore gates, and it's going to use a couple of other components that we've made back here. Not those. It's going to use these pulsing chipsets. Now if we, let's see, what do I need? We're going to make ourselves an odd Arctic iron ore gate. So that is, in the assembly table, an iron ore gate, a redstone iron chipset, and a pulsating chipset. We've got the pulsating chipsets. We've got some iron chipsets around here somewhere. I just have to figure out what I've done with them. Probably toss them in my buildcraft chest. Yep, there they are. So we'll come over here and throw those in there, and that will enable the odd Arctic gates for me. I want odd Arctic iron ore gates. I no longer want those. So you can see it already gave me 1. Now I just need to get some power to these to be able to produce the others. Alright, grab my biomass here. I'm going to have to automate the production of biomass pretty soon, because I've got a lot of things running on it now. Just throw 4 in for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll turn this on, let this crank out a few more of these odd Arctic gates for me. In the meantime, let's take all of these item sinks that I had and transform them back into normal item sinks. We'll do the same with the extractor modules that we've made. There we go. Now we can reuse those for something else. So come over here, you'll see that it's producing fairly rapidly. Doesn't take long to make these. I only want a total of 3 of these odd Arctic gates, so we'll just leave it like that. And we're also going to need a few wooden transport pipes. So we come over here into our pipes chest. We'll grab 3 wooden pipes. May as well throw our mob drops away. There's our second odd Arctic gate. Spooky music. We'll head out the back door here and start getting things going. So, what we're going to need to do now... Oh, just a logistics pipe there. What we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to put a wooden transport pipe on this side of each one of these apiaries. We'll bust this out because we may need a little more room. On that, we're going to have an apiarist pipe. Beyond that, we're going to have a logistics pipe, which is then going to connect in the middle and head into the rest of the logistics system. Now, why do I have... Well, actually, I guess I don't need logistics pipes here. I can use a cobblestone pipe here, and I can use a cobblestone pipe there, and then cobblestone pipes here and here. This does need to be a logistics pipe. Now, coming off of this, we're going to have something like that. We're going to need to dig down just slightly so that we can run our cobblestone pipes like this. And then we're also going to need... Come on. Can't get up there. Now we can get up. Break that off. We're also going to need these pipes to come up here like this, because we don't want them to connect to the wooden pipe. We'll just bring these in like this. Oops, not there. Just like that. And then here, we're going to repeat right here with some more cobblestone pipe coming out of the bottom. And one more time here. Now, those of you who are familiar with Buildcraft will already see that there is a small flaw in this system. I will address it in a few minutes. We'll come in here and, actually by now our third odd Arctic gate is probably done. So let's go get that. Yep. Yeah, we'll just tell it to go ahead and produce some more of each of these gates. Or chipsets for me. May as well burn off that biogas doing something useful. Alright, on each one of these wooden pipes, we're going to put one of these odd Arctic gates. Now, an odd Arctic gate basically acts like a redstone engine with a gate. What we can do is we can tell it if it has items in inventory, apply an energy pulsar. An energy pulsar is basically like a redstone engine. Now, the only bad part about this is that it will never heat up like a regular redstone engine does. So, it's pretty slow. But it does do it automatically. Why is this showing items inventory as true? No idea. Maybe because of the frame? I don't know. This one's showing false, right? No, that one's showing true too. Whatever. Alright. We'll come in here and we'll get our bees. We need cultivated, unweary. So here, what we're going to tell this is we are going to interact with the apiary's pipe. And you can see here that black, white, and green are the ones we're going to have to deal with. So on the white, we are going to want to send only princesses. And this one we are going to send only cultivated princesses. And they must be purebred cultivated. Down the black path, we're going to send only drones cultivated. Down the green path, we are going to send items. Here, we're going to put in cultivated princess, cultivated drone, let them start doing their thing. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing. White, princesses, cultivated, black, drone, cultivated, green, items. Over here, white, we're going to send princesses, unweary, black, same thing, purebred unweary only, green, items. Alright, and you should have seen right there it actually sent some honey out. Our odd Arctic gay here pulled something that the bee created out and shipped it out. So let's watch this system for just a second here. Actually, let's not watch it at the moment. Let's get our other bees going. That way we can watch it all happen. My parkour skills are leaving something to be desired today. There we go. Now, at some point in the not terribly distant future here, we should get one of these bees producing some honeycomb for us. It's not daytime. Maybe we won't, huh? Let's go sleep through the night. Get our bees working again. Alright, back out here checking in on the bees. There we go. Much better on the parkour. You saw the honeycomb come out? The honeycomb came out and it made it to the apiary's pipe, and the apiary's pipe told it where to go. It told it, you're an item, go down the green path. It sent it down the green path where it hit the logistics pipe, and then the logistics pipe said, hey, you're a honeycomb, go to the centrifuge. The centrifuge processed it and then sent it out. We'll keep an eye on this, and there goes another honeycomb. Heads out, goes into the centrifuge. Centrifuge processes it into wax and a honey drop, and that gets extracted out and sent back out. Okay, so we have managed to automate that part of the process, but anyone who knows a whole lot about logistics pipes, or not logistics pipes, buildcraft pipes, is going to realize that there is a flaw in this system. That flaw is that these pipes are going to occasionally dump a bee. because every time one of these bees dies, it's going to produce 2 drones. Those drones are going to get sent down the black line here, where it's going to go into here, and that's it. It's going to, the first one's going to hit, and it's going to do its thing, and then the second one is going to hit, and it's going to say, oh, I have nowhere to go, I can't fit in the machine, plop. It's going to drop on the ground. So, we need to come up with a way to get those bees out of there. Now, if I was using red power, I'd do it using a transposer. I actually have not come up with a good way to do this yet. I kind of want to use an obsidian pipe, but using an obsidian pipe, it's just going to go back into the same piping system, and, well, we don't want that. So, for right now, I'm okay with the bees just dropping and disintegrating. Actually, you know what? I think I can make this work. I just had an idea. Oh, nope. Can't do that. Now, this is an evolving idea. I'm kind of thinking as I go. But I'm thinking, if I have something like this, let me get out of here, because I'm going to need another type of pipe to make this work. We're going to need to get into our gems chest and get a couple of pieces of obsidian, because what we're going to make is an obsidian pipe. Now, an obsidian pipe, when something is dropped on it, will suck it up like a vacuum. Like if you have an obsidian pipe there and a cobblestone pipe there, you chuck something into it, it gets sucked in like a vacuum. So if we take this obsidian pipe and put it down here, and then have those obsidian pipes come out here, connected to, connected to just regular old stone pipes here, with a logistics pipe in the middle, and then have the logistics pipe come up here and connect to our chest that we've got, which I'm going to move. I don't want it there. And actually, I could just put the chest right there, couldn't I? But let's go ahead and have this come up here, where we will have it plug into this chest. Oops, no. We're going to want this to be a logistics pipe. It doesn't really need to be, but, and then we'll tell you you're the default route. This should work, because what should happen is when a bee comes out of this system and can't fit, the bee should go zzz. Oh, I can't fit anywhere. It should drop down in there and get sucked into the system. Alright, I am going to pause the video for just a second here because my girlfriend is hollering for me from the other room. So I will be right back in a second and we'll check in on the system, make sure it's working properly. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, and we're back. So my bees have had a chance to run a full cycle. As you can see, my frames are about to die here. And the good news is that it did properly repopulate all of my apiaries. The bad news is, as I went walking past these, I picked up a bunch of drones. So the catch system down there is not working properly. I'm out of ideas for the moment. I know there's probably a way to do it that I'm overlooking, but I'm not terribly worried about it for now. 3 entities every 5 minutes or so is not a big deal, and I don't really need these drones for anything anyway, so I don't really care. They can go back to the wild. I leave more cobblestone than that laying around. It's not a clean system, but it works. And I don't feel like wasting any more time on it right now. So, let's get to something a little more interesting. First, let's clean up our inventory, get all of these pipes and crap out of them. And we'll just throw our modules in there also. In our bee products chest, we'll throw our propolis. Over here in our plants chest, we'll throw that stuff. And I've got a bunch of dirt that I picked up. We'll have to throw that in the recycler. I want to show you what I've done off camera. Well, not really off camera because I was live streaming at the time, but you can see that my pipe here is no longer here, but I have a new quarry running out in the background. Well, that's because I added in this over here. It is a new set of ender chests. The red one is my supply chest. It is, well, it's supposed to keep a supply of cells of both types in there, biogas and lava, but I had all the biogas with me, I guess, so it couldn't properly supply it. That was my fault. But the red tagged ender chest keeps the biogas engine supplied, and then the yellow tagged ender chest acts as a receiver for my logistics system. Basically, it's a way for me to not have 15,000 miles of pipe running out every time I set up a new quarry. You can see that I've got a crapload more iridium plates. I ran my mass fabricator a little bit offline, so I now have 11 iridium plates. If we look in the mob drops, you can also see I have a ton of blaze rods. The big thing that I did during my live stream the other night was that I went and I built a blaze farmer, a blaze trap. It actually turned out being more of a dagger trap than anything else. I actually did die falling into lava and lost all of my stuff, including my infinity bow. I've replaced most of it. I didn't really carry anything terribly valuable with me except for that bow. So I replaced all of my nano stuff, replaced my lab pack and my drill. By the time I finished building the blaze farm, I had so many blaze rods that I don't really need the blaze farm anymore. So, yeah. Might use it as an experience farm or something. I don't know yet. Over here, I've got a crap load of bauxite running. I don't have extractors on these yet, so it can't really do anything with them. And I'm also accumulating a lot of these H cells. H cells, if you look at this, you'll see that 4 H cells in an industrial centrifuge turns into a D cell. Now D cells we are going to need for fusion, so at some point here we're going to want to start making some of those D cells. And well, I have a ton of H cells, so there's no reason not to. I'm running very low on biogas. I need to get some more biogas running over here. I did have to go fix my piping system, because as it turns out, the pump filling the fermenter is one of the things that got sabotaged by me going slightly ballistic. I've got a crap load of plant balls I gotta compress down too. I took all of the seeds that I had and compressed them down into plant balls. I took most of the saplings I had and compressed those into plant balls. Basically just cleared up some inventory space. One thing I am getting slightly concerned about is the fact that I am actually starting to run low on wood. So I think what I might do is go over here and change the supplier on my wood farm again. We're not going to keep rubber tree saplings anymore. we're going to keep oak saplings again. And if we look in here, we should see it quickly fill up with 32 oak saplings. Here they come. Well, it actually filled 38, but whatever. And then over here, we're going to start the biogas engines on these running again. That was a torch, wasn't it? Not a redstone torch. That's not going to do any good. So we're going to go ahead and get these engines running again. Now this one I'm only running because I've got rubber tree saplings in here right now. What I could do is I could have this system producing not only regular saplings, but also producing oak saplings at the same time by keeping the supplier system supplied with both. But I'm not terribly concerned about it right now. Mainly, I just want to revamp my wood stockpile because, yeah, I have a lot of charcoal being made, and I'm not supplying wood at the moment. That's going to quickly turn into a problem unless I start paying attention to it. The wonders of automation. Let's go ahead and supply that. I need to come up with a better solution for biogas storage. And I think I'm going to make use of these tanks. I think that's going to be my solution. Actually, I'll throw my compressed air cans in there too. Which I don't know how many compressed air cans I'm going to need. Is there any use for these except getting empty cells? No. You can just convert them back into empty cells. So, if I were to take these cans out, just throw them in my inventory, essentially, you can just empty the air out of them. Get the cells back. Alright. What else did I do off camera? I don't think I did anything else of note. I'm not going to have time to do a whole lot more this episode without running way over 40 minutes, so I think I'm going to take the rest of this episode to just kind of discuss where I want to go in the future, and I might actually make myself one more thing. But we'll see if I get there. I want to finish getting my bees automated. I'm going to eventually set up some sinisters also, but I'm going to have kind of a bit longer route for them, or I might set up an ender thing like that and put in a railcraft anchor over here. I also want to get the jungle bee that I found going, and I want to start trying to crossbreed that. I do need to rework my buildcraft room. Because my industrial craft room. Because eventually, I am going to want to have more than one quarry running, and I'm also going to want to be able to come in from a mining expedition and just dump everything in. Or, even better yet, carry around a yellow tagged ender chest with me, so that I can just dump everything right into my receiver system. However, right now, my system is not capable of putting up with that kind of input. It can take one stack of each type of item, but any more than that and the system chokes and it just starts sending stuff to the default route. So I need to set up hoppers, kind of like I have with the recycler there, in order to be able to catch the excess. But if I do that, I can't have the extractors on the top, I gotta have them on the side. That's going to require a rework of this room to be able to access the top and the side of the machines. So that's coming up in the near future. I need to finish my buildcraft room, and I want to start playing around with some of the higher end Gregtech stuff now that I'm getting a decent amount of iridium. Another thing that I showed on camera last night, or on the live stream last night, I've been playing around with the Gregtech reactor, and as you can see, I've got a pattern in here. It uses these iridium neutron reflectors, and I'm also putting in double plutonium cells. Now, plutonium cells are a side effect of centrifuging uranium. When I centrifuge the uranium, I get some of these thorium cells, and I also get some of these plutonium cells. And Weebles is over there making a ton of noise again. Every time I'm recording. Anyway, as you can see, if you run this reaction, everything does stabilize, and it runs at 160 EU per tick, and it actually runs for a long time, and it doesn't use a whole lot of plutonium. I was actually kind of surprised at how well this thing runs and how much energy it produces out of just essentially 4 plutonium cells. Now it does take iridium neutron reflectors, which are pretty damn expensive. Each one of these, I believe, requires an iridium plate. Yeah, the iridium neutron reflectors are an iridium plate surrounded by 8 of these thick neutron reflectors. And each one of those is 4 neutron reflectors around a BE cell. The neutron reflectors are tin dust and coal dust around a dense copper plate, and the BE cell is a result of ender pearl dust or emerald dust being centrifuged. So yeah, it's a pretty expensive recipe. You also get aluminum dust out of that, huh? Huh, cool. Alright. But I think I'm going to make myself a Gregtech toy. Because, see, I've been carrying around this lap pack for ages, and, you know, it's nice. But I also tend to run out of power really quickly when I'm on those extended mining trips. I want to make myself a Lapratron pack, I think. Let's turn off the railcraft thing. A Lapratron pack is made with a Lapratronic energy orb, which is basically 8 Lapratron crystals around an iridium plate, 4 of these energy controller circuits, which we know how to make, an iridium plate, which I already have, my existing lap pack, and some of these superconductors. Now the superconductors require these wolfram cells, 2 iridium plates, more of these energy controller circuits, and then some of these 60K coolant cells. So let's come over here, and the first thing we're going to do is make sure that our lap pack is fully charged. It has to be fully charged to work for the recipe. Let's go ahead and put our saplings back in here. And let's grab our iridium. And let's come over here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to request 8 Lapratron crystals. And that is going to make our system go absolutely berserk, trying to fulfill this request for us. Alright, there is our Lapratronic energy orb. You can see that this thing holds 10 million EU. This thing holds as much as a full MFSU. Next thing we're going to need is these superconductors. Now the superconductors, we only need 2 of them. We get 4 out of the recipe. So we're going to need 2 iridium plates. We got those. We need a W cell, which we've got those. We have the wolfram cell right over here. We need some of these superconductor things, which are still in our industrial crap chest, if I recall correctly. Or maybe they're in our miscellaneous. Yeah, we've got the energy conductors. We'll probably need a few more of those. And we need some 60K coolant cells. Those are made with dense copper plates and 30K coolant cells, which are made with tin and 10K coolant cells. So we're going to need, let's see, 60 requires 2 30s, and a 30 requires 10 of those, and we need 3 of these, we need 6 of these, we need, oh man, 18 of these. I hope my math is right on that, because otherwise I'm going to look like a derp. But I have an excuse. I did work all morning, so if I'm wrong, if my math is off, I have a legitimate excuse. I swear. Alright. 30Ks are 10K with tin. Alright, there's a 30K. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then if we do this with these dense plates in the middle, that should give us the 60Ks. There we go. And to make the superconductor, we need 3 60Ks, 3 energy control circuits. Actually, we'll import that. So 60Ks on the top, 2 iridium plates, the wolfram cell there, and the energy control circuits there gives us the superconductors. Most of the way there. We need 4 energy control circuits, which is an iridium plate, 4 lapatrons, and 4 advanced components. So we need 4 more lapatrons. We need 4 advanced circuits. No. There. Turn off the effects, please. Thank you. Alright, there's 4 more energy control circuits. So, we'll import that recipe. The lapatronic energy orb on the top, the lap pack in the middle, the iridium plate on the bottom, energy control circuits in the corner, and the superconductors there gives us our lapatronic energy pack. Let's toss him in the charging bench and get him charging. You can see this is drawing a ton of power, but you can also see how much power it's holding. We can now mine for days. Awesome stuff. And hey, we still have 6 iridium plates. So, we didn't even burn through all of our iridium. Let's throw all of our stuff back in here. We'll throw all of that stuff in there. We'll throw our compressed plants into our fermenter over here. Let's run out here. Go walking past here. See if we can pick up some bees. No? Oh, it looks like it actually did throw some in there. So our system's working sometime, just not all the time. But, oh, we're just in time to see a reset. But we need to get some frames in there, because our frames wore out. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to need a total of 9 frames. It just so happens that we have a bunch of impregnated sticks over here and a bunch of string over here. So we are going to split this up like this. We're going to put 9 pieces of string there. That's going to get us all the frames we need. We'll run out here and give our bees some new frames to work with. There we go. And you can see I picked up a bee and a second one. Yeah, the system is not always working. It's occasionally, looks like more often than not actually, dropping bees out. Now, I remember reading something somewhere that if you power an obsidian pipe, it sucks in from a larger range. I might try that. As a matter of fact, I think I will try that. See if it works. It's not going to take much, just a couple redstone torches. No reason not to try, huh? Alright, so down there... I can't tell the difference, can you? Yeah, I don't notice a difference. Oh well. It can't hurt anything. If it helps, that's great. If it doesn't, whatever. Anyway, I think that's enough for me for now. This has been Nightdagger with Let's Play Modded Minecraft, episode 29. Episode 30, we'll probably do a little bit of work getting our industrial craft room reorganized so that we can start doing some more stuff with it. And as is traditional, since it's an episode 30, I will have a world download available for you guys then. So, hope you guys will catch me for the next episode. Should be pretty entertaining stuff if you're, well, into the whole moving around of stuff thing. And I really need to go take a nap because I am exhausted from working this morning. So, I will catch you guys later.